Hello and welcome to the Car Care Shop. This is a 2012 Toyota Camry, and let's just get the bias stuff out of the way. This is the best color in the planet, and this is the best looking car in the planet, because I used to own one exactly the same, down to the spec, down to the year, exactly the same car. Missed that car, got in an accident, unfortunately it was totaled, had 92 something thousand miles. Beautiful car. This car, however, has a 2 ARFE, so did mine. We have a mysterious noise from the engine. Now, this does have a VVTi gear rattle that is known for these, but in addition to that, once it's running, there is like a weird noise from the engine, and we needed to investigate it a little bit more. So why don't you guys join me as we investigate this noise, and if my hunch is right, we may be actually able to fix it in this video as well. Let's get started. Here's what we got. This is a 2 ARFE. 2 ARFE is having a lot of issues lately, simply because of the 10,000 mile oil change. So if you don't want to have issues, don't do 10,000 mile oil changes. They burn oil and everything goes south from there. In addition to that, this is the only year of this generation Camry that had VVTi gear rattle. I mean, we knew about them 3 years before, but this is the year they decided next year we're going to fix it. So this engine does have this rattle. I already started cold, it already did it, pretty bad rattle. However, that is not the issue we have. Let me start it, see if it's making it. Maybe it needs to warm up a little bit, and then you'll hear it. We'll go from there. You hear that? That screeching sound. That's not normal for these. It does get a lot louder than this. This noise is centralized right here, right in the chain area. See, as it calms down, there you go. You hear that super loud screeching. Let me shut it off because I am actually worried about it. It gets a lot louder once the oil's fully warmed up. So here's what we do in this case. Even though the sound is centralized right here in the front of the engine, but internal, it's a chain noise, we want to isolate some stuff. These are notorious for drive belt tensioners causing all kinds of noise. Remove the belt, very simple. Remove the belt, start the car. Although the water pump is not spinning, should be okay running it for a minute or two to hear it. Noise is still there. There's something notorious with this engine, which is my hunch, but we're not going to just go with a hunch. We're going to go in and investigate. There's something notorious when the VVTi gear rattles and shakes the chain. There's an upper timing chain guide that breaks. If that broke, you have metal contact with the chain. Not good news. That's the first bad news. Second bad news, that piece in some cases gets lodged between the chain and the guide and breaks the other guide, the one in the front, the fixed one. We've seen both cases. So here's what we told the customer here. Look, I don't have x-ray vision. I can't see what's going on inside. It could be one of these possibilities, could be something else, could be just the gear making noise. I suggested to him, we're going to need to fix that gear. But that, we got some time on. Not in a rush, need the budget for it, whatnot. It rattles in the morning, but it doesn't rattle on every start. But the chain running on a metal guide, that's kind of bad news. I told him, why don't we pull the valve cover, at least take a peek, so we know what we're dealing with here. If the guide on the fixed guide is broken, we need to do this right away. It means we're pulling the front cover. At that point, let's just do the VVTi gear. But if it's only the upper guide that is broken, and unfortunately we may not be able to find that piece because usually it falls right in the oil pan. It's a pretty big piece. It's not going to get picked up by the pickup tube. But if it's just the upper guide, let's at least replace that now, so we're not destroying the chain. So let's do this. I haven't opened this engine. We don't know what's going on. Let's pull the valve cover out and see what we find. My hunch is, and that's what we're gonna see, hoping that's the case because that's a simple case, the guide will be broken. The upper one, the one you can replace just by pulling the valve cover. So let's hope that's it for this one, and we'll find out. Let's get to it. One more 2ARFE. Been a pretty loud motor lately. Lot of little stuff and big stuff, because this was one of the first victims of the 10,000 mile oil change. Folks really went with it. Very easy motor to work on for most stuff, like spark plugs. If you're doing spark plugs in a 2AR, well, right there, that's it. We just did the spark plug. Pull the coils, spark plugs are right there. That's the end of that. Very, very simple. But we're going a little bit more than that today. This harness usually falls apart. Hopefully this one doesn't do that. Likely will do that. Usually pull these studs for the harness. Now you can move it more freely. Okay, this PCV hose. Something about these old crusty PCV hoses. You notice that I'm pulling it with the clamp. There's a reason for that. From my experience, when these hoses are old, if you pull that clamp, as soon as you pull it, it'll just split. But if you leave the clamp on, it won't split. Isn't that something? Okay, got the cam sensors here. OCV valves. This one is not 20 go. There we go. And it's pretty much loose, but this is going to give us a hard time. So I don't want to take the whole thing out. We may end up doing that. I think that's all the bolts. Take a peek. Yes. Well, there is this problem. I think we'll be fine. Let's see. Are we gonna be fine? Something about these valve covers, be very careful with. They have pins, like dowel pins, and they would be right in this area, one of them. Don't just pull on this valve cover hard, because you could crack the valve cover. Make sure you disengage your pins, which I think we just did. We were hoping to do this the lazy way, but I think that's not going to happen. We need to undo one bolt all the way down there for the harness, so it would move a little bit more. So I don't want to. This looks very, very brittle. So let's pull the intake off. Let's remove our intake. I don't want to stretch that. I feel like it's going to break. Air filters aftermarket. I think it's time for a new air filter. There should be one more. There it is. Okay, now that we got here our nut somewhere here. Let me see. There it is. It's actually a bolt. This gives you a little bit more movement on this harness. Should. Not as much as I'd hoped. I think we're gonna get this. Yep. We're definitely onto something here. Let me show you. I suppose my hunch was right. Only because I've seen this multiple times, way too many times that I'd like to see. Look at this guy. This guy's completely broken. This is just metal. That chain's riding on this piece of metal and just rattling against it, actually. It's not, if you look, there's a space between them. But when this chain is taut, it's just going to come up and start hitting it, make that weird screeching sound. And here's the best part. There's a piece of plastic that broke and fell off. Where is that piece of plastic? It's a piece of plastic probably this big. If you look, it's gonna be hard to show you in camera and position this. If you look right down here, like this way, you may be able to see it. It's sitting right there. And try right there. See that black thing? That's actually the guide. Let me try to extract it out. And we're talking about extractions. Jose, are you okay? Jose is having a bad day today. He's tooth pain. Bad day. I told him you should go home and rest. He just looked at me. He was like, "We're gonna go home and just think of the pain nonstop. I'd rather be here a little bit distracted." So, wish Jose well, guys. It's been an interesting year, Jose. We've been having one thing after another. It's here. Let's see. You gotta be very careful. Yeah. There it is. One piece. That's the piece of the guy that broke. So you look at the guide, it's perfectly fine. But here's what happens with these. I think there's a piece that locks it somewhere in this area that breaks. Always. And it just comes barreling out. So why does this break? So you're gonna make bad guides? I actually don't. This is one of the, and look at this. It got broken and flew off and hit the valve cover, went down, and still in one piece. It's plastic. Here's what happens. Let's talk about this motor real quick. They have a common thing with these. 09, RAV4 started with this. Notorious for this. This is a VVTi gear. Look at this, variable valve timing gear. This is the intake, and this is exhaust. The exhaust one, and you can't see it here, but right in this, do you see this cone right here? This part? This cone has a big spring. When you shut off this engine, that spring on the exhaust side is going to bring it to the full retard position, ready for startup. When you start it, by the time oil pressure builds up, fills this gear, and the computer takes control of it, it's always going to be pushed one way by a very heavy-duty spring. If you notice the intake, if you look here, it's just a bolt. There is no spring here. There's nothing in that area. So the way they do this on the intake, as the engine shuts off and the momentum of it, there is a lock pin that engages and locks it. So the next time it starts, oil pressure, once it builds up, it'll push that lock pin in and keep it in, and then we have full control. The problem with these gears is that lock pin starts sticking and it won't come out. So when you shut off the car, the gear has oil in it, so if you start it after 15-20 minutes, it's fine. Leave it overnight, however, that oil will drain back, and now when you start it, that gear is not locked. It's just rattling around for a few seconds until it builds up with oil, and then it's fine. Here's what happens when that happens. That gear will literally be, the engine's turning, and that gear is just going like that. What it's gonna do to the closest victim is gonna literally do this to it. Every time you start this engine cold. Eventually, this guy says, "I am not the punching bag, I'm out of here." That's exactly what happened here. Here's what we're gonna do. First, let me remove that guy. So we'll look at the wear patterns here. So I find my tools. Isn't this the best design? Thank you very much, Toyota. Pull the valve cover, you have to tear half the engine down. You pull this guide, one bolt. And you pull the guide. Eee. You see that? Let me wipe it down. This just started. You see the imprint of the chain? This is not terrible. I've seen them worse where this just has like a deep groove in it. Because this is metal to metal contact. Folks, this chain, I am trying to see. It doesn't look like it has a lot of wear. I mean, I see shiny, like if you look at this one definitely has a shiny spot. But I'm trying to see the paint marks. Usually, oh, there it is. It's actually there. We're gonna leave it up to the customer on this one, because when we end up doing the BBTI gear, just got a budget for it. These things are not cheap. Pull the front cover and the whole 9 yards. It's their call if they want to do a chain or let it be. Because yes, we do have a little bit of wear on the outside of the chain, but this just started. They caught it. They actually brought it on an emergency appointment here. You're gonna leave it to them. Do you want to take a risk, put the chain, hope for the best, we're fine? Or do you want to replace the chain? One thing about Toyota chains, they are ridiculously expensive. I mean, I look at other manufacturers, an entire set with gears, chains, everything is cheaper than just the main chain on a Toyota. That's just how they are. And look at this guy. This is how this is supposed to look like. And right now, it just slides right out. Let me go get the new guide. We'll show you the difference. So here's the new guide. Now, one thing I love about Toyota, they always give you this thick bag where the guides come from. This is probably the cheapest guide Toyota makes. I think it is $10. Here it is. It's not going anywhere. And the reason it's not going anywhere, I want you to see the difference. Do you see what broke? I'll leave you to see it. Yes, that little tiny teeny tab right here. That's the only thing holding this thing from flying. And when it keeps going, getting hammered like that, it eventually breaks and this separates. It's just tiny little thing, $10 part. But here's the best part about this. So they do this in this engine. They do this in the A25, doesn't have this upper guide. The 2ZR also has the upper guide and the Corollas and whatnot. But that one, there was one engineer that didn't get along with the one that did this one. Because the 2ZR has I believe there are two 10mm bolts right through here. If you are not careful, you'll drop one of them and then your day will get very bad. Very bad. So yeah, this one is a nice type. The only thing I want to do, which is going to be a little difficult, which I actually even doubt that is the case. I'm going to send, yeah, I can see it from here. I'm going to send my camera real quick. Let's take a look at the rest of the guys, make sure nothing is weird about them. So we got our fancy little tool. I actually like this. I saw it on shopping for one because we go through these a lot, because when you put this in a hot engine, they're not going to last long beyond that. This one is made by Teslong. What I like about this one is, trying it out, it has like the movable head, so it helps a little bit. Let's take a look. You guys join me in this one. It's 100% hard to see it, but that guy does look like it's intact. See, there's that paint mark. See it? That paint mark, folks, your indication that this chain overheat, because when that paint mark is gone. The guy that I'm mostly worried about is this one. Here's the other paint mark. You see like a direct crack right in the middle of it, and it's like separated. This one actually looks to be in good shape. I think this camera, I don't see the back of it. No, it looks, usually they crack in the back. This one looks good. All right, I think we're in good shape here. So let's say this is the only thing I don't like about this. It's like, why does the screen has to detach? This is one more step we got to do, folks. If you don't know about my channel, I did some product reviews. I'm gonna say this, maybe some of those folks that make these good products, I started doing some product reviews. It's just not my thing, flat out honest. I feel like you send me a free product, you expect me to say it's the greatest thing on the planet. Well, what if it's not? So I have chosen, after some thing, I don't do free stuff anymore. I don't never like free stuff in my life. There's nothing free in life. I like a product that I bought with my own money, like this one, that works. I'm just gonna say it works great. There's nothing, I bought it, I love it. If it's bad, I just tell you it's bad, or you actually won't see it because I won't have it. Simple as that. The world is full of everybody paying everybody to say something they want them to say. I don't like that. Just keep them honest. Just say the truth as it is, and we're good. So, having said that, let's install our guide. I am now drawing a blank on what is the torque spec for this. I'm gonna actually have to go look it up because I completely forgot. Something small. Let's say either 7 or 18. I'm gonna go look it up. Don't guess with this stuff. So it is 15, in case you are doing this. If I were you, and I've seen these a lot. I've seen this guide broken on almost every single 2AR we work on. We always replace them regardless. If you're taking the valve cover for any reason, although these are not notorious to leak, if you're taking the valve cover for whatever reason, always replace this guide. It's $10. If it breaks 2 days after you did the valve cover, you're gonna have to do it all over again. So if I were you, take a valve cover on 2AR or any AR series, same thing with the 1AR, just replace this guide. It's very easy. Having said that, let's do this. This valve cover, and this is actually a really nice design that they did here. This valve cover, it's gonna leak oil all over the place. Let's go to the oil drain. I gotta let it settle. This valve cover, they changed the design of the spark plug tube seals. You can actually pull these without pulling the valve cover, which I don't know why they didn't do before. Here we are. That's a nice thing about this. So I'm gonna clean this a little bit. We'll get it prepped up and then we'll install it. So we're gonna clean this a little bit, get the old sealer. The reason they put sealer right in this area is this is where the front cover meets the cylinder head, and it's never a flat surface here. So they always want you to put a little bit of sealer here in case there's a channel that leaks through, so it wouldn't leak. So that's why you put a tiny little dab. Wipe the surface clean. I'm gonna attempt to get this harness to move a little bit more. It's getting stuck here. Loose. There it is. And here. Guess we're gonna have to pull the connectors of the injectors out. At least the two. Or is there something else holding this? Yeah, this is better. That's much better. I think we are good. Clean this guy up a little bit. So there are very important mistakes that I see happen all the time with this job. Do you see this gasket stuck here? It's just innocent looking little gasket. You always replace that, because this is what feeds the VVTi gear. This would be the intake, this would be the exhaust. They usually either stick here, or you'll see them right here. That's the first disaster if you don't realize, or you're just thinking of an older car and you forget about these. That's the first disaster, because then you lose oil pressure to the VVTi gears and we got problems. Second disaster. Do you see this? This is an oil feed to this, which sprays oil on the cams, and it goes here as well. This has a gasket right here. You forget that, your cams are going to run potentially dry, because it's just going to bleed the pressure here and it won't spray them. Always replace these when you do a valve cover on an AR series, and actually 2GR, all the VVTi gear, all the VVTi engines that have the oil control valves on the valve cover, they'll have these. Just get them original, never buy aftermarket. Comes to gaskets, folks, I mean, we kind of talk about this all the time, but when it comes to gaskets, never use aftermarket gaskets with Toyota or any other part, but especially gaskets. They're not worth it. They're actually not expensive. They work super well, and you won't have any issues. Here's that other one. Okay, this one's set. Let's get our valve cover gasket. I'll do the spark plug tube seals from the outside so you guys can see it. So if you ever want to replace it, you don't have to pull the valve cover out to do them. It's the original gasket. Always use original gaskets, folks. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but this is very important because I see this mistake all the time. The old gasket probably be better than any aftermarket gasket you put. So always use the original new one. I'm going to put a little bit of sealer here. A little bit here. A little bit there. So we need just a little bit. Nothing over the top. Now come the fight, because this harness is in our way. We don't want to roll our gasket. I'm going to actually get it close, and then I'm going to check our gasket. If your gasket rolls, this will be the time to fix it. Check the gasket, sure it didn't come out. Yeah, it did come out here. So you always got to check right before you install it. This side, I can see it. That's good. We're good. Let's install it. Best way to install a valve cover, line up your spark plug tube seals. That'll line you up, and we're good. Okay, part is done. Let's connect our injectors back. Just took them off to give us a little bit of space. I think I only disconnected the two. And then clip the harness. Okay. Get some of our harness back. Get this bolt in here. If I can see it. Where are you? There we go. Connect this. Cam sensors. OCV valves. Connect this. I think we're all connected. We got two things to do. Let me put this on as well so we're completely done. I pulled this just to give us room with the harness. Gotta do our spark plug tube seals and clean the throttle body. We're already there, might as well. So I left this intentionally at the end so you guys can see it. These seals literally just pop out like this. That's it. You can do them outside. You don't have to pull the valve cover like the old stuff. Which is honestly a brilliant design because it makes this super simple. You have oil standing in the spark plug tube, although that is not the only thing that will cause it to do that. Could be the tube itself leaking at the bottom, but this is so simple, so inexpensive, definitely something. Try it first, definitely yourself. If you're gonna DIY something, this would be it. Super simple. Do your spark plugs at the same time. Place these, and we're good. Goes without saying, but buy them original. Do not buy them aftermarket. They're really inexpensive and not worth risking it with anything that doesn't work right. Basically, to install them, just push them in. Make sure the lip is sitting correct, this inner lip right here. Make sure it doesn't roll. And you'll feel it engage. That one's good. That one's good. Last but not least. There we go. That was very simple. Let's get our coils back. This part is done. Let's get our throttle body cleaned. There are signs of it being cleaned at some point, but it looks like that point was a long time ago, because yeah, it hasn't been cleaned in a while. Much better now. Spray, so always use throttle body cleaner. It doesn't have to be the Toyota one. This actually works really good, but any throttle body cleaner will work. And don't use brake clean, because if you use it in excessive amounts, brake clean actually destroys O2 sensors and catalytic converters. So that's why there's a specific cleaner for this, because some of it may end up in there. I mean, small amount like this won't hurt anybody, but just letting you know. This one was also, yeah, well, it's clean now. We don't have to worry about it. Let's assemble our intake. Fortunately, we do not have an air filter for this car, but that's not a big issue. You can get it tomorrow, and or actually we have to ask the customer. It's not our car to just replace it. We just wanted, we're so focused on the big thing. Do we have a big issue that's going to break this chain and cause major damage? Now we know that we did. It's resolved, and resolved the good news way. Because if the other guide broke, that means this customer has to do that big repair right away, and they're not ready for it. Folks, times are hard. Things are expensive. You can't just drop everything and all of a sudden put all kinds of money in your car immediately. Nobody wants that. We all want to have options. And this car seems like it likes its owner, giving him options. So we're good. think we're pretty much set. Let's remove some of our mess. Save that guy, but I have like 10 of them broken like that, so it's not something I haven't seen before. We've actually seen it a lot, almost every single AR series engine, whether we're doing a VVTi gear or building a motor or whatever the case, that guy is always broken. And the problem is, if you're not attentive like the owner of this car and you don't notice that noise, that the car all of a sudden sounds louder, sounds weird, we have major problems, because if that chain decides to wear off and break, it's over. Okay, I'm gonna put the cover here, so I feel like that gives us a fair comparison to the previous sound. Shall we hear it? I think we should. I'm thinking it's gonna probably do the grinding sound right now, so let's see if we can hear it. I'll try to stay outside the car so you can hear it. No, didn't really do it. That's much better. I like how that sounds. Good. Well, I think this was good news, because we didn't have it running when it's warm and there's a cricket in the shop. I don't know if you can hear it. This is TCCN's cricket. I don't even know what it is. Probably a cricket or something. Just keeps me company when we stay those long nights working on cars. So I'm glad this went this way, because yes, we do have the VVTi gear that we're going to have to tackle, but I love when car owners have options and they can plan things, because nobody wants to, in the middle of your life, your kids are going back to school. So right around this time of the year, my kids just started, everything's going on, we're preparing for this, preparing for that, and all of a sudden the car throws, hey, you got to spend a small fortune on me. But I like it when we have options, because that chain guide could wear the chain and we could have all kinds of problems that we didn't have before. VVTi gear, on the other hand, is not really terrible on this one. We got some time. They'll budget for it, save up for it. When they're ready, we'll get it done. And if you have one of these motors, folks, they love to burn oil. 10,000 mile oil change. And here's how that kind of snowballs. Folks never check their oil level. That's just, we should, but they never do, and that's okay. We all have busy lives. It runs low on oil. VVTi gear goes, even if it's a good gear, it's gonna go because it ran low on oil. Then the balance shaft goes on these and starts rattling, and then it gets so bad with oil burning, either clogs the cat, fouls the plugs, or simply has misfires because it barely has any compression anymore. So much oil all the time. That's the problem with this engine. You take care of it though. We have a few examples that come in here with over 200,000 miles. Original owners change oil every 3,000 miles. Not even 3,000. Doesn't burn a drop. Sounds great. No guide, no VVTi gear, no balance shaft, nothing. Things quiet, beautiful cars. I see that over and over, folks. You know, the oil change conversation is never ending. And you're going to have the oil company say something. You're going to have the oil analysis folks on the forums and whatnot. But you know what? When the customer's sitting in front of me, they've owned the car since it was new, and it burns so much oil, it's unbelievable. Where are all these folks now when I have to give them these terrible news? Because nobody told them the 10,000 mile oil change was a terrible idea. Even the cricket agrees. See that? You hear it? Folks, this job is done. I'm actually happy, because this is somewhat good news that they got time. That guide was broken, and that was my hunch initially, but you can't just go with it. You have to check. We did. Other guides look okay, so we're good. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.